What is up, people? Half Slab Bacon back with our first world tour. So, guys, 250 sub special. We hit it this week. I just wanted to say thank you to all of you for the support. And seeing as the channel's growth is based on this series, I figured a world tour at this stage would be most appropriate. So, I've never done one of these before, so I'm not sure how long it's going to take, but we'll try and make it as brief as possible. So, we're at spawn, guys, and I guess, well, one of the things we should do is let's open ourselves up to LAN so that we can use certain things, and let's get started by, well, I gotta show you with that enabled. So there's the seed for anybody looking to see it, and yeah, this is where we started in our world. Now, I'm gonna grab a bunch of ender pearls while we're here. For those of you that don't know or haven't seen, we put an ender pearl transport here so that we can get our ender pearls from the end. Eventually we're gonna connect something to make it fully automatic. But we spawned in this beautiful place, did our whole punch wood, and then we went searching the area to find a suitable place to lay down for our first couple days. And yeah, we ended up not too far from here, actually. Oh, I'm glitched into the tree. You can see our mob farm from here. So we came along this ways, and we ended up over here. As I came over, I saw that there was a bunch of water and a bit of sand and those reeds, and that really prompted me to kind of stay in this area. If I remember correctly, there was some stray chickens and some sheep wandering around, so we were able to get some eggs to start our food with. Yeah, so then we came. And those of you that haven't watched the early series, we came down here and I promptly discussed why you should not build a house in Minecraft your first few days. So all this was filled in. There was a small caving section, but we kind of dug into the side of the hill here and made our little hidey hole. And then from there we started caving, so we branched out first couple episodes, and we dug down. Like I said, most of this was all filled in, and we eventually came, I'm forgetting where everything is here. I'm trying to eliminate this as best as possible. Our first nether portal was right there, but before we did that, we dug all the way down here to level 11. And this, guys, this was kind of my first lesson to start off the basics in Minecraft was don't build a house. Don't build a house, guys. Cut into a hole and use your time and dig. It's called Minecraft for a reason. You need to craft and you need to mine to craft. So in order to save time, I'm probably going to do this a lot, guys, just to kind of show you. Let's go into Spectator, and in order to save time, I'll show you. You can see I quite extensively did a lot of mining, and that's how I believe you should spend your time in the first few days. Ooh, there's diamonds down there. I'm not allowed to mine those now because that would be cheaty. But as you can see, I did a ton of caving. And that's what I believe you should do in the beginning. Don't build your house. Go get materials. So our first few days were spent doing just that, mining out the area. And then, of course, you know, we did the basics. We ran around. We started a small chicken farm up here inside our hidey hole and started doing the basics, like getting diamonds so we could get our basic diamond tools And setting up an enchanting or enchanting table used to be just over here. Yeah. And we lived out here for quite a while. Eventually, of course, we had to build a home. And eventually, we had to build a mob farm. That's kind of, as far as my early game strategies go, guys. And I'm not a big one for building houses above ground. I tend to prefer building in ground because, and I've said it before, when you build above ground, you use materials. When you build below ground, you gain materials. So I did build this just for funsies. And, you know, because everybody says you got to build a house. So, you know, we put the lava in just for something unique. And this is, you know, our first official storage area. This was all built after we had, you know, found some cows and gone to the nether. So, about, I'd say mid-game. Not necessarily, well, maybe tail end of early game. You can see we used a lot of coal and a lot of quartz here to make our floors. It was a very expensive build. We've got our never-ending fire here. Very, very happy with this overall. For a guy that doesn't build above ground too often, I'm kind of happy with this. And for those of you that haven't seen, again, just for funsies, I built a hidden room, and this was also to kind of show you guys how to build a hidden gem door. And, you know, we've got our beautiful ender chest down here. And since we duplicated some dragon eggs, I put some in the corners there. And some enchanting and kind of like some of all of our best gear is hidden down here. So, yeah, in a single player world, not much use to actually have a hidden area, but, you know, fun, fun, fun. I enjoy my redstone projects. And on that, I showed you where the nether portal was down there. We moved it up here simply because I got sick of going down there. But our first main redstone project, guys, and this is something I believe firmly, is get on an unlimited food supply right away. So we took the eggs we were collecting from our little chicken farm in the hidey hole, and we promptly built this chicken feeder. Oh boy. Maybe I'll while we're in here, maybe I'll just turn these guys down for a sec. So this is based off Zoom Avoid's design. Now you would notice I used obsidian up here. That's just because we're right below the surface, so should a creeper blow up, I want these guys to stay in their hole. I would rather they die than get free and go everywhere. So we used Zuma's standard design for a chicken farm, which is the comparator clock coming out of the dispenser to fire the eggs, and the hoppers feeding in it, and the lava to kill their faces. And then we kind of added on a few additions here. So what we did add is an item filter. So we've got our standard item filter there, and we're filtering out our feathers from our cooked chicken, and the feathers just kind of go down this path into this dispenser, and it's timed so whenever it fires an egg, it fires off a feather and burns it. And that way we're not collecting, you know, useless feathers. Eventually we're probably going to put a lock on this so we can shut it off and have it collect feathers for fireworks, but that's something I haven't gotten around to yet. So then, to bring it up to the surface, and I thought this was a fun project, was we started the first time using our dropper elevators. So we've got our standard rapid fire comparator clock here. However, you notice we've delayed it by a tick, so it's got a 2 tick, so it's not burning out our torches, and that's just taking everything up to the surface into our hidden chest. We'll probably actually put a hopper clock on here. This was really early game, so we couldn't really afford it when we built it, because, you know, we needed all the all the goods for other things. So yeah, and then we just built this beautiful little area here. The chest is hidden in the middle. If I can reach it, there you go. There's our hidden chest. Oh, and it looks like it might be time to empty this out. Let's put some of our chicken in the house, shall we? Wow, we're at 10. Whoops, I just burned some chicken. I feel terrible. Did I just burn a whole stack? Pretty much a whole stack. Oh well, we got lots of chicken, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, from there, our food concerns were... I swear I can use my own door. Our food concerns were pretty much taken care of. And you notice we're getting a lot of lag right now. That would be because we're open to LAN, so we get a pretty big hit whenever the mob farm goes off. I should really move some of this to one of our other bases, because we got way more chicken here than we need. But enough of that. So we set up our minuscule netherwort farm in here, so that we have some easily available, and our enchanting and all those good things. And then, not too long after that, we began building our mob farm. And we're going to switch here as well. Now, this is right around the time where they changed how shifting floor designs work. So, we had to go to the nether to get the sandstone to build this. And it works on a very simple tripwire system because you cannot use pressure plates anymore. Mobs won't spawn on them. So you're kind of stuck with the whole either water and buckets or tripwire system in 1.9, 1.10, and only SoulSam works with the shifting floor design. So we used a bunch of repeaters going into our pistons and some torches, and then we have our tripwires hooked up to some other sticky pistons that fire a block down when it's tripped and activate this redstone by connecting these torches to it, and all is well and good. Bam. And we added on a couple layers. When we first started, we started with half a layer because we didn't have the string to even do a full layer. And we let the mob farm continue with a whole bunch of string until we could build our other couple layers. You can see I used a ton of lava in this build. That was strictly for appearance sake, just to keep our fire and ice theme going. Oh, we got an Enderman there. And I did, for the bulk of this, prettying it up off camera. And then we kind of just went from there. So now we're at the bottom, and it's a 34 block drop, so just enough to kill a witch. Oh, I didn't see you there, buddy. And as you can see, it works quite well. We've got a minecart going around through the bottom at all times to collect items. And we use the new mechanic with the with the trap doors to be able to place the whole thing around. That just kept us from having to use a solid block. I like it because it looks cool. And then I think a couple episodes after the fact, we built this item rail system. You can see down here, they're all just powered with levers. And we built this rail system to bring things to the surface. So there is, where can I go in without breaking this? I think here. There is a comparator system here. So when the minecart stops, and if I don't push it, when the minecart does stop, there is a comparator system in place on this side, I think. I can't even remember. Well, nonetheless, it detects the minecart and shuts the whole system down turns the rail off so it has a chance to empty, and then it reactivates. How do I have a block? You can see it shutting off there while it empties out. How do I have a block left over? Oh, it must belong here, I'm guessing. Yes, it would belong there. So that system is set up, and then what happens is underneath here, as it transfers the items from that chest, where the heck is that comparator? I can't remember, to be honest with you. It transfers from that chest into a hopper, and then we've got a slightly more complicated redstone system here where when that comes up, it will activate this. However, we've also got these comparators that we've got a dual action system going on here, so it will activate that. You can see it's active. However, if this is empty, this comparator over here does not fire. When it does fire, it initiates that. Oh, okay, well, it's loading. And it waits for this hopper to be empty before it releases it. So fairly tricky. You can see we've got the comparator from both ends, and what the lever does is, as long as the signal strength is stronger, so 15 from the lever, then the signal coming from our minecart over here, it basically locks it. So it waits before it'll transfer until the hopper is empty, sends it all up, and we just kind of ran our rail system all the way around here, powering it with levers, and we'll switch again, just for simplicity's sake. And we travel all the way up to the same setup with our hopper detected by a comparator into the torch that shuts this off until it is empty. So that's kind of the extent of what we've got going on for redstone here. Naturally, we went into the nether, and kind of one of our first other builds over here, we actually found while we were caving, and we created the entrance up here after the fact, which is very soon to be rendered useless because of the way we're changing the build. But this is where we found our slime farm and our skelly spawner. So we naturally found the spawner first, and we discovered the slime farm. I can't remember if it was around the time we were building or around the time we found it, but we've got our redstone up here, and it used to run this way, but we recently bypassed it and ran a torch tower down this way, and that's because we just did our lovely auto setup. So originally our kill floor was up here, and I had a door out here, and what I would do is anytime I wanted to use the skelly spawner, I would also kill a few slimes with a looting 3 sword, and I kept a looting 3 sword here just for that purpose. And that's how we've had our slime balls to do all our projects, including that mob farm I just showed you. So I kind of built this up early game, and I stopped there. And now you can see I've started running our sea lanterns and all our goodies for the rest of this build. We're not going to spend too much time here since we just finished doing this last episode. But we've created our tunnel back to where the man cave's going to go whenever we get around to finishing that. And we've set up our auto skelly kill area. Oh, by the way, I did kind of decorate. And believe it or not, guys, this is a slime chunk I found out while I was AFKing here. Apparently, there's a quad, so if I wanted to, I could dig all this out and have it connect to where we're going to have our kill floor down here. There's 4 slime chunks here, not just 3. But I think 3 is good enough, and I'm getting sick of moving stuff, so we're going to go with that. Now, for those of you that missed last episode, this is very simple. We've got a dual action setup. So when I hit the button, it engages a water stream and pushes our skeletons over here so we can kill them. We've got a crusher set up, and there's a block up there to stop them. And then they're down to a one-hit kill, and we can wreck their faces. Of course, we did our item filter to bring all our goodies over into our storage there. And this is something I just plan on leaving running all the time when we're in the area. So if you're interested in more, check it out, but we're already at 20 minutes and we haven't left spawn, so we're going to go to the Nether. Now this portal I added off camera, so you guys haven't seen this yet, but basically what I had to do was I had to dig down from where our original portal is, and that is simply because of their proximity to each other. So up here is where our original portal spawned in. Now, we first dug out this way when we started looking for quartz and all our fun stuff, and we kind of just roamed around and checked the area out, and we found our first nether fortress up here. It's a wonderful thing. I've dug a lot of soul sand out of the area, so it's looking kind of crappy, but we're going to set up our nether hub, so we'll eventually never see it anyways. So here it is. Here's our original nether fortress, our first nether fortress. We lucked out. It was right close to home. And, of course, we conquered this, and we went away, and we found several blaze spawners. As a matter of fact, we had a double that was in range of each other, and I scrapped it, guys. I was going to build a double spawner, but never did. Well, for the longest time, we did the trip to get to our blaze spawner by running this, and I'm happy to say we're not doing that anymore because I finally got around to building our rail, which is great. Makes me happy because this is actually a long run and it ate up a lot of time, but so does building a rail system, so I kind of put it off and put it off and put it off. I added these stairs to get us up to the surface. We eventually half-slabbed all this off, and here's where we built our blaze spawner. So, over time, you know, this has been our best friend. And we'll go into game mode 3 here, so I can just fly through it. So we cleared her out, and if you're interested in how it's built, check out the old episode. It's a modification of Etho's original Blaze Farm design, where they land on these lovely little, well, let's go to game mode 1. They land on these, and they get pushed down. And they get pushed all the way to the bottom. And yeah, collect at the bottom where we can kill their faces. Now, we've got a lovely dispenser system up here with the lava as lights to shut the spawner off. And a couple viewing platforms at each level, just for maintenance purposes and because it looks cool. Eventually we'll probably open this up to the outside. I covered it kind of early game. Now this is modified in the fact that it uses a lot more pistons than Etho's design, and it uses dispensers for the lava lamps. And of course we have right up in here my favorite comparator clock timer. So very simple, stone button required, pulses into the comparators, and the comparators, every time they hit the redstone on the end here, just reduce the signal strength until it eventually dies and retracts our crusher piston. And it just happens to be the exact timing to get mobs down to a one-punch kill. We eventually added our hidden enchanting table set up here, which I think is great. Just nice and compact underneath. Pressure plate activation with all our repeaters. And, you know, we've got our lovely, lovely cauldrons with water. So this was kind of our main build in the Nether. And we added this portal at a later date, just as quick access to the desert, so we can get out here and it's night. I should be wary of creepers. We added this just as quick access to come get water for the Nether when we needed it. And we actually, I cheated, guys. I was looking forever to find an abandoned mine shaft to show you guys and couldn't find one. So I did an episode where I showed how to use the cheaty minecart method to see through blocks. And we used that and we found our first mine shaft using the cheaty minecart and leaf method. And we tunneled down and we excavated our mine shaft down here to get all the rails and all the things. It's a fairly big one, and I believe we've saved a couple spider spawners down here to do a spider spawner farm, and we just haven't gotten around to it yet. We will. They're not really, once you have a general purpose mob farm, anything other than a skelly spawner's not really required. Even the zombie spawner farm that we did isn't really required. It's just kind of a nice to have for food for villager trading and that kind of thing. And on that note, our first place, and it's a shame I don't have the portal anymore, but we moved it. So kind of our first trek to find non-frozen ground, because we spawned in a frozen area, was... I can't remember where the portal was, guys. It's failing me, but I think it was in one of these. We actually put a portal somewhere out here. I think it was like in that one or that one. No, it was down here. That's right. We found the Blaze Farm and I said, okay, well, we're going to want to set up an overworld base near the Blaze Farm. So I think we had our original portal right down here, and we since moved it, but we really lucked out, guys. We really lucked out. We put it down there just to be close to the Blaze Farm, and it took us to a mesa, which is awesome. So once we found the mesa, we began exploring naturally, and we eventually moved this portal because the mesa, we searched around and found it right on the coast of this jungle, which is just amazing. So we found ourselves jungle and mesa, and let's just kind of switch, and we'll go into spectator again just to fly and show you guys. So this was base number 2, and we started up here with just a little observation deck, put a bed, smelting, that kind of stuff. And I slowly worked on this treehouse, which we'll get back to in a sec, and we've never really finished. But our original spawn point was kind of way over here, and we just set a bed down by our portal and search the area. You can actually see the torches should take us right there. I torched up the area to kind of get us to safety. We ran back and forth for a little while. Yeah, here's where our first portal was. All the way over here. Right by this little lake here is where our original portal into the mesa was. So we kind of ran around the mesa. I did a bunch of it off camera and checked out the area. You know, I don't believe I ever recognized how cool that was. Why didn't I ever think to put a base there? That's naturally generated. That's awesome. We've actually barely caved here, guys. There is tons of area that I could cave like crazy. out in this direction. We've caved a bit in the jungle area, kind of around our base there, but not much in the mesa itself. There's so much we can excavate. So, in the interest of time, and we got on these much later, we started building farms over here, and we built our iron farm here, and this is a variation on the Zip Crowd design, Doc M77 JL2579, I think it is. I always forget the numbers for him. But the Zip Crowd boys designed this originally, and we just kind of varied on it. And, you know, added a few things, like instead of having 4 of them linked, we just have our kill chamber down here. And, yeah, I built it in a tree, just for fun. And, of course, we put an item filter down here as well for our poppies and our iron. And the chests are just under there. Now, that was an interesting episode, actually. We were in the snapshot still, and fire tick was broken. And somehow the fire spread was broken as well. Like, you can notice, you know, I've been very careful to keep the distance from this lava away from all the wood so the fire shouldn't spread. Well, somehow it spread anyways, and I quick opened a LAN and tried to fire tick false to stop the spreading, and that didn't work. So I lost a few hours of work. I had to load a backup and kind of do it all over with fire spread off, and I kind of left fire spread off the fire tick false rule for a few snapshots until it appeared that it was fixed. Just a snapshot bug. And eventually we built this farm here, and I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with this one. Uses a ton of iron for all the dispensers, and we've just got multiple layers here. Now it is lossless. We've got multiple layers, water streams on the side to hydrate. Each one is exactly 64 blocks, and then the water stream just kind of pushes everything down here, and there's ice here to speed up the trip, and it goes all the way down here. Now, I actually miscalculated and had nowhere near enough hoppers here eventually, and we did put more hoppers in. And of course, a dropper elevator to bring it up into a chest so that we can collect our goodies from the surface. Now, we used, again, a comparator clock instead of a hopper clock here, and just your torch tower, and we slowed it down. And because the items coming in are so quick, what we actually did is we put an additional repeater here to the block that goes into this hopper, so that when this fires off, it actually locks the hopper, pushing items into the dispenser. So that way, it only takes an item when it's not firing, and it locks up when it is firing, which keeps it a 1-to-1 ratio, so that dispenser isn't getting overloaded, because that is one of the problems with or dispenser dropper. That is one of the problems with just using a comparator clock setup like this, is if the signal gets too strong, it stops pulsing. So we put that there to kind of control that. We played around with our chorus fruit here. So this was after we had battled the dragon, and then we just have a redstone block and a piston here pushing down, and that pulses all our dispensers on. And then we used, and I think this is the only time in this world we've used, a repeater clock. So all these repeaters to go around and give the second pulse to shut it off, and it's timed just long enough to get all the items down into the water stream. And then from there, very simple torch tower with repeaters extending to all our dispensers. It was quite the large build, but it yields a very, very, very good amount of wheat, carrots, and potatoes, which keeps us very rich with the emeralds, guys. And it's funny, on servers everybody behaves like emerald or diamonds are the currency in Minecraft. Really, emeralds are the currency. Once you have a good villager setup, you're rich. You're good. Why aren't these... I guess I forgot to replant these. I'm going to have to come back and replant these. So this is another recent build, guys. Our netherwort farm. Same type of setup. However, here we had to swap in some extra repeaters because I messed up and we had a torch burnout system going. But this one, there's no clock or anything. Just a manual button. And our ice and all that. So same concept as this farm, just for netherwort. So that is some of our later game builds that we've done out in this area. The other thing we added on was this villager farm over here. We cured a couple zomberts to get this started and basically just dug into the hill. Do we have a problem here? Oh, that was weird. Okay, they're still here. Ooh, scared me. Those guys have our Frostwalker, and I forget what else. I think it might have been Infinity, but some good trade. So we've got some good trades there. We've got more village up here. And this is purely a decorative project that we're working on. So this will get done over time. Kind of the downside to doing a survival tutorial, guys, is I always have to have like an objective, something new we're doing, something new I'm trying to show you guys the way I go about doing things, which means some projects kind of get left. Mind you, I'm like that naturally anyways, so it works out. But we're going to expand this, and I mentioned that I've got big plans down here. So we've just got a bunch of doors and villagers. Really, that's it. A farm, so they self-breed. And we're going to expand and build a whole city over here. You can see I've kind of slowly started it. And eventually I want to put a sphinx over here. Now, off that way is the desert where we mine all our sand. It's not really much to see. It's just a big hole in the desert because I've taken so much sand. This can come down at some point. That was just manual farming of the pumpkins after we found the pumpkins. We had originally gone in search of pumpkins around here, found ourselves a few jungle temples. Yeah, some ravines underground, all the good things. But we set that up so I had pumpkins for lighting. And we eventually got sick of living up in a tree and kind of not abandoned this project here, but we started building underground because we found a cave system I liked, and we used the natural slope. These blocks are a direct replacement of one of the rooms, and this is where we put our portal going to the nether when we moved it. And, you know, outside of that, we kind of terraformed this. Here's another room in its original shape. We left it this way and just kind of terraformed it to build our storage area for this area. Added in, of course, the enchanting and all the things. Now, here's some of our earlier game farms when we weren't resource rich. We started with our sugarcane farm and we added on some melons. And here's just our redstone room in the back. So we used a hopper timer here. And I think it's got 2 stacks of blocks or a stack and a half or something. And then we've just got our quick pulse going here just to kind of fire the pistons. So essentially we're doing a monostable here, and then it goes through here just to kind of take it from there over to our other farms. So they're all on the same timer. And then slime blocks just to kind of push. We've got our little nano farm here, so comparator out from an item frame into our dispensers so that we can just kind of quick farm any of the potato, carrots, and all that stuff. So that just works by knocking the leaf off with an ender pearl. No. By turning this around until we get a signal strong enough to pulse it, and then you turn it back around to turn it off. So, very simple. This is based on Impulse FV's design. So, these guys work on just a piston pushing the block out, and then, you know, we've got the standard ice and all that goodies into the chest on each side. These were very early game, and they don't produce a lot, but they look cool. I'm happy with that. And eventually we did a bunch of caving. I'm not even sure if we still have access down here. I think we might. But we did a bunch of caving, and we found a ravine underneath here. Yeah, you can kind of see this was our way up into the ravine. Yeah, we found a ravine up in here, and there's still a mine shaft nearby we haven't finished excavating. And we found the zombie spawner. So eventually we connected this. And this is kind of the first time where I explain the actual search radius. Most people think it's just 9 by 9 horizontally. Well, it is 4 blocks up and 4 blocks down. So we did a drop all the way down here. And we've got ice, water stream. And that's just to kind of maximize our spawns. We've got a little lava there to kill off the babies, half slab to stop the big guys from going through, and then just our water elevator all the way up to the top here. You can see it coming all the way up into our drop and back down into our room here so that they're down to half a heart. We've got my usual setup here with a lever and some lighting to shut the system on and off, and basically it was just kind of a fun project, mostly for the zombie flesh, for villager trading. That's kind of what we use that for. We kept breeding the villagers, and eventually we found the good trades, so we've got our best paper trade over here, and our best zombie flesh trade over here. And this farmer is awesome. He has like the best trade on all the things, so we kept him here. So a lot of work went into this over a lot of time. But yeah, it's our home away from home, so to speak. And something we did when we first started building down here, and I don't think I ever showed you guys I finished, but we actually have a way to get up to the treehouse in here. We've got a little water tower, and we built this at one point. No creepers gonna sneak up on me? Creepers? No. So we grew a tree here for the sole purpose of putting this in. And we've got surface access here, and we can take our water tunnel all the way up to the top. And bang, we're out of a tree on top of our treehouse. And eventually, what I want to do is we're gonna build a whole village up here with a whole bunch of villagers. That's looking a little dark, although it's half slab, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, we're gonna build a whole village, Ewok village up in here. It just kind of got put off to the side. This will probably be season 2 when we're done tutorial and we go straight full on let's play. That's probably when we're gonna get around to this. So for the most part, that's it. You know, there's a bunch of course, ravines and stuff we've cleared out in the area and that kind of stuff. More cave spider spawners and that stuff. Our next major adventure, kind of away from this base, and it was before most of this was done, was off that way in search of horses, actually. And that's how we found our village. So we got our horses over here from way off in that direction, and I think it was several thousand blocks we traveled before we found a village. We collected a whole bunch of flowers, found our first swamp. Unfortunately, we need to find another swamp because there was no witch spawner there, so we still need to find a witch hut to do that, which is awesome. But yeah, the village was what actually prompted us guys to do this lovely build. We used the rail to get the villagers over to the jungle. We did cure some zombies, but we also transferred. I believe we cured after we had the first group over, just so I could show you guys how, if memory serves me. Yeah. We actually built this and we brought the first ones over via this rail system. Now this is set up, and I still have to put something here, but it's set up so it automatically goes this way because we don't go to the jungle that often. But it is set up so it switches coming from, or the jungle that often, the village that often. It is set up so it switches. You can see there's an activator rail there. So it switches and it goes back the other way. I have yet to set up the system going that way as well, so that we have like a lever or something here we can switch to go the other way. We really don't go to our village that often, so it's something I haven't gotten around to yet, but I will do it. However, you know, we can always just manually hop in a cart. And that's kind of what started our rail, really, was just doing that. Now, I did a bunch of the building of this off camera, guys, because, well, I hate building over lava in the nether. I'm not afraid of building over the void. It doesn't faze me. Heights don't faze me. But building over lava in the nether bothers me. So, yeah, I did this stretch here anyways, pretty much all off camera. One, because it's not that much fun, and two, because I'm not talkative when I'm building over lava. So as you can see, this goes very, very far, but this is where our portal came out. We backtracked on foot to kind of find the best way to get back, and then built this after the fact. So here we've got netherrack burning. We're going to extend this theme throughout the whole rail. The other part we've added on, and then we've got our standard, you know, chest here and stuff. And I'm going to build another entrance here. Eventually we'll go even farther out just to, you know, see where it takes us. And this will be kind of our mini hub here. And we're going to use kind of a similar design for the main hub, but we're going to spruce it up a bit. So yeah, here's our village area. This is where we found kind of a lot of our other woods. We found our dark oak out here. We found our birch. We found our acacia. So we've actually explored out here quite a bit. We've gone caving, found a whole bunch of the things. But essentially what this is really used for is just our infinite village breeder, because it was the first village we found. We've actually still got our best horse here. And got a little setup here. I believe we still have, yeah, we have some goodies here. Not too much, but, you know, we set up a small base of operations. Here's our enchanting area, and we spammed it with doors just to keep the population high. We can see the population's going strong here. And this is where we did our first village breeder, and this is kind of my tried and true. This is the first version I did, which I actually... No, you guys aren't allowed in here. Get... I shouldn't have opened that door. Idiot. Get. You're not even a good librarian. And I... No! Okay, seriously, you guys? Seriously? Why you gotta vex me? Why? On camera. At that. Get out. Go. Out. You're not allowed in here. Get going. Get out. Out. Okay, you know what? We got enough to do. We'll worry about these guys at a later date. They can't get through this door anyways because of the iron door thing we got going on. So we're good. But this is kind of my original design, guys. And it's always worked for me. The downside is you have to manually get the villagers out, but it also allows you to protect them. So standard, where we've just got a bunch of doors creating a village up here with a villager, and it's, you know, over 4 blocks above, so he doesn't register this village at all. So they're always in constant breed mode down there. So this guy doesn't observe the village cap. These guys don't see those doors, so they'll always want to breed. Like, you can see they're still breeding here. However, the guys out here observe this village cap, and these guys will eventually observe the village cap too. However, we've got a lot of doors, and I tend to pull villagers and leave, so every time I come here, they're breeding. But what this setup does right next to a village is it just kind of, it keeps them from spawning in, breeding until it crashes your world, which, yeah, is a thing. We don't want them crashing our world, right? So this keeps it that way. Now, the swamp's over that direction, and we've gone here to get flowers and the like, but that's really it, because like I said, I searched it extensively, and no witch hut. So we're gonna have to go on a mission soon to find a witch hut somewhere in the world, in maybe a new farm. Yeah, or new swamp, because we can't seem to find one here. So essentially that's all we got going on out here, but that's all we needed it for, which is why the minecart's kind of just ignore this stretch automatically unless we manually push it. But we are going to expand this in future. We'll definitely expand it in the future. So then we take our lovely trip back, and the stretch of this that we expanded out towards spawn was not too long ago, actually, if I remember correctly. We basically didn't get around to doing that until we did the end and the ocean monument. I believe it was the ocean monument that prompted me. Yes, because we needed to get all the sand from our desert out at the jungle base. And we put a portal out there that links down here so that we can move sand whenever we wanted. But that was definitely the reason we did that, if I remember correctly, was to get all the way out here with all the things. So yeah, lots of work, not too exciting, but a necessary evil. So why don't we go check those out? And if I remember correctly, we found the ocean monument looking for the stronghold, is how we found that. So now we're headed back into the spawn direction just for that. And I think while we're here, I'll show you guys the wither farm, which is also not completed yet. I mean, it's functional, but it's nowhere near optimal. And I will get around to doing that. This tunnel isn't nowhere near optimal either, but, you know. So the wither farm was, you know, I wanted a beacon for taking care of all the skelly spawners and the like, or skelly spawners, sand for the ocean monument. So we came over here. This used to be a double cross section, which we've converted, and these are just kind of safety rooms. Should we ever get into trouble here, you can close yourself off, and it comes from every single level. And we've got a portal here to kind of auto light and lava to break it, and we should actually have that lava running constantly to minimize the likelihood of spawns here, but doesn't really matter too much, I guess. Well, it would matter actually if we were running from pigments, so that should stay as is. But you can see kind of there's one at every level. Whoa, glitched into the door there. So we've got our safety room in case we ever get into trouble. Now, we've only got 4 floors here, and this is why I say this is not done, because with the new mechanics, oh, I don't have looting. That sucks. Oh wait, I do have looting. Sorry. I've always got looting with my good gear. So let's wreck some face. Maybe we'll get another skull while we're here. Dude, you're not allowed in here, okay? Idiot. Yeah, you come get me. Let's take care of that guy too. Come on. There we go. Okay, run for it. Yeah, I see ya. Huh. Come on. Huh. No skull? No skull. But yeah, with the new mechanics, as long as you use nether brick, no skull, you can go pretty much down to lava level and you'll get spawns all the way down. So eventually we are going to take this all the way down. Now there's another what do you call it? Nether fortress over there that we still have to light up to kind of optimize, or not light up, it is lit up, slab, to optimize rates here. We want to add more floors as well, but all in good time. Any of the good guys over here? No? No? Ah! Get him! There we go. So yeah, the panic rooms are there, it's all good. Eventually we'll take it right down to the ground to kind of optimize so we're always getting the best rates. We'll slab off the whole area. But at the moment, it was good enough for us to get our first wither fight, and we've already got another skull. And I never come here, so, you know, just slabbing this made it efficient enough. We've got a 100 block run over here to reset this in case I'm actually working on getting some mob heads, and we will do that in the future. But then the rest of our rail system is from down here, guys. We connected it down here, so we have a stop by the Blaze Farm, as well as a path. Let's just grab one of these to our spawn area and our beautiful ocean monument, and of course the stronghold and our awesome Enderman farm, which is my favorite, guys. My favorite farm in Minecraft is the Ender, because I love me some Ender pearls, plus all the XPs, guys, all the XPs. So yeah, this goes quite a bit, but eventually gets us right to spawn, and we're gonna start connecting, building our spawn hub probably in season 2 as well. I believe most of you, if not all of you, have seen that we've broken through bedrock, so we can do a gold farm as well. So that'll be happening in the future, and there's a cart down here, isn't there? So we need to get off. Yeah, I'll just let those go. I need to put off switches here eventually, but yeah, we brought the tunnel all the way here, so we had access to our ocean monument, which is here. So if you guys haven't checked this build out, you might want to check this build out. Massive sorting system. We've got our droppers here. Oh, hi Pigman. Pigman hanging out. We can probably switch back to our shield, I guess, since we didn't get a freaking head. And yeah, let's grab our ender pearls. Now this thing is crazy fast. Like crazy fast. So I'm pretty happy with it. However, it does have one problem, and that is, as soon as we go down here, the rates actually drop to the point where we start getting clicking from our droppers. But, you know, I'm not too worried about that, because if we AFK for a bit, that solves that problem. So yeah, we've got the entire size of the monument. Like, look at the spawns, guys. That's insane. It's insane. It's insane. And it's laggy a sec. I do apologize. But we have a ladder all the way down, should we choose to use it. I didn't mean to ender pearl there. And our item filter down here. Yeah, we're gonna get the... See, already the spawns have dropped enough that we're starting to get clicking down here. So let's turn blocks off too, so you guys don't need to listen to it. So the whole thing's cleared out and glassed in. Eventually, I need to grow this out. We're gonna put tree farm down here just for looks, because really we're never gonna come down here. But you know, here it is. There is an auto filter set up to take our fish, and if we want to keep the fish, you can see we just shut the lava off and I'll push it into the hopper into a chest. But I figure a chest is good. That'll probably sit full and I'll never use it ever, to be honest with you. And then we've got a couple item filters here filtering the shards out and then switching them and sending them into 2 of the 3 towers. And then the other tower picks up the unfiltered items, the crystals, and unfortunately the occasional fish as well. And the ink sacks, and takes them all upstairs. So we're not going to spend a ton of time on this because it is crazy complicated. Watch the video if you're interested. And there's a second video where I add the extra hopper towers because one just couldn't keep up. Not with how quick this thing spawns. But that gives us our ocean monument. I'm rather happy with that. We're going to continue to pretty this up here. We're going to build an automatic purper farm up here just for funsies, because I like doing the 2 blocks together. We've got access here for overflow, and the odd fish does make it up here, so occasionally I'll come here for fish should I ever need it, which is another reason I never have to go down there, really. And then, of course, you know, we've got our filter with stacks on stacks on stacks of everything's full here, so I need to come craft. And I can barely keep up with this when it comes to crafting, guys. It produces items about as fast as I can craft. So, yeah, quite the OP farm. I'm happy with it. So we still haven't continued to our hub here because, well, we're probably going to change this up and have the rail kind of stop here like it does at the Blaze farm and then just continue instead of going directly into the portal. But yeah, from there, we searched for our stronghold. And since we're here, we'll go to the stronghold in the Enderman farm from here, because we're at an hour already. These world tours do take a while. As a matter of fact, I feel like I'm going to lose my voice soon. But we took our trip to the stronghold from spawn, and we found it pretty close. Like I said, that's how we found the ocean monument. So the portals are very, very close together, and eventually I'd like to bring both these portals up at the exact same level of that and have it go into our hub is kind of the future plan. And yeah, here's our connection to our stronghold. And then, of course, we defeated the stronghold, set our portal up here while we were battling the stronghold, while we found our area, and here is our tunnel to the end. For those that haven't seen, this is a Dragon Egg sand duplicator, and we set this up to duplicate our Dragon Egg so that we could use it to break through bedrock. This was done recently too, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but basically the drop is at the exact height, and then the tripwire breaks the item and causes this to pulse. And what happens is, because it collides at the exact same time that it's teleporting, it teleports both the entity and the item, which allows for duplication. So yeah, now we're in the end, guys. And I want to fight the dragon and open up some more portals before we continue building this. So for now it stops here, but you can see our Ender is all the way over there. My favorite farm. And we've got a cart here. Eventually underneath this, I should have pushed the button to speed this up, but eventually underneath this we'll have another cart that whenever we're in the end will automatically load up with ender pearls and just take it and drop them all at the portal, the return portal, and have them go into a hopper. We should turn more stuff off here, I guess. Yeah, we'll have it all go into a hopper over there at the portal and have a dispenser that fires, or a dropper that fires the ender pearls into the portal, so they automatically go to our collection point in the overworld. But yeah, this one is a modification on JL2579's. Well, the Zip Crowd did it as a group. So this is a modification on their original Endermite design. As you can see, it's crazy OP. If we hit F3, yeah, we just got here and our entity count is at max. So this one was done recently as well, so we're not going to spend too much time here, but we have our hoppers underneath, bringing the items into a tower, and we've got the hopper timer set up in here, over here, that will keep up and always pump ender pearls into our chests. So like I said, we're going to set up a filter from here that pumps them into a hopper minecart and sends it automatically. But we just built this, and I went with an intricate design out here because I like it. So it kind of mirrors the tunnels, but goes all the way up, and then this circle is at maximum size. So they will detect our endermite over here from a maximum of 40 blocks away. So yeah, this optimizes it. And then we put this second floor in just for extra spawns, so they will spawn up here, and the trapdoors just keep them from taking fall damage when they run off to chase the endermite. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful design. It's amazeballs. I love it. Definitely one of my favorite builds. And then of course the water, 35 blocks out, so they can't teleport anywhere. And then we just continued it for looks. You can see it covers the 35 going completely over the wall. And then the rest of this, we just use glass on the edge, so we only see the water coming down the sides of the pillars. Purely for looks, guys. Purely for looks. Yeah, that's really it. So there is our Enderman farm, which is crazy, crazy OP. I love it. And of course, I still have to pretty this area up over here. But we've also got our End City portal over here. And we're getting really long on time, so I'm not going to cover it. But we went through here, and we found one of the end... Oh, I didn't even notice this over here before. That's kind of cool. Wow. I thought we just had a solid mountain. I didn't know this little section was here. That might be a good spot to farm endstone from. I might have to keep that in mind. But yeah, we went through there to get our elytra naturally after we beat the dragon. And we also set up, which we will continue to use, kind of a little cheaty wither killer down here. So we can spawn the wither on this block, and he glitches in and gets stuck in here and can't battle us, and then we can just farm him nice and easy whenever we want. And that's the extent of our end right now. Like I said, eventually we'll have the minecart, but I want to find the dragon head before I build that, so that we're not losing all that stuff all the time. So that is pretty much it. I think we covered everything. Do we cover everything, guys? Did I miss anything? We covered the end. Yeah. We covered the ocean monument. Oh, I guess it wouldn't hurt to show you guys. So, yeah, the way to the stronghold was actually... we enderpearled all the way this way. And this is how we found our ocean monument. Ocean monument is all the way... quite a distance, actually. Quite a distance. All the way over here. Yeah. Am I going in the right direction here? Yes. It looks like it. I think. You know what? We're doing cheaty today anyways, so let's just go with... actually, let's go with 1. Can you fly faster in creative? I don't even know, guys. You would have to tell me, actually. Yeah, here we are. So we did the, not ender pearl, what do you call them? Pearls. All the way over here. To find our stronghold. And we actually found the ocean monument here along the way. And the stronghold is just way over here. Now, this is all newly generated, so we haven't really checked any of this area out. So in the future, we'll probably do a bunch of stuff out here too, because this is, you know, all pretty much brand new, untouched biome. So yeah, the only reason we've even been over here is just to collect that stuff. So more land for us to conquer. We've definitely got to go in search of another swamp and find ourselves a witch hut to build a witch farm with. And eventually we'll probably get around to our cave spider spawner too, guys. Yeah, it'll be a thing. Hey, can you... let's see where we end up. Interesting. I'm not sure if that's faster than flying. No, flying's faster in creative than ender pearls. Interesting. So yeah, guys, that's kind of the sum of the tour. You know, I don't think I left anything out, but I might have. There's always that small possibility. We still need to find an igloo, so I think in one of the episodes in the near future, we're going to head off in that direction to hunt for our igloo. And, oh yeah, wouldn't want to forget. Over here, we've got an ice farm. Why over here? Well, because it has to be dark, right? So we've put it a fair bit away from the rest of our area. But we really haven't explored this way, so I think we're going to go that way in search of polar bears and witch farms and all those good things. That pretty much concludes it, guys. That is our world tour. We've seen pretty much all the things. That's it. That's all. Now, we are going to continue to grow this. I've got no plans of retiring this world anytime soon. It'll keep going forever and ever and ever. And if you are interested in checking it out firsthand, guys, it will be in the description. There will be a link to the world download. So I know some of you have been waiting for it. Now you have it. I hope you enjoyed the world tour. As always, if you did, smash that like button to help others like yourself who might enjoy the content find the channel. And if you're new and you haven't already, hit subscribe for more videos. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.